Are you there? There we go. Hey, it's software or hardware interruptus day. Let's do the whole top of the show again. All right, ready? Take two. Welcome, everybody, to the Director's Garage Humpday Happy Hour Hangout. It's a true 4-H club today. So welcome all you saints and sinners. We're back for another great Wednesday afternoon. I'm glad we could meet up like this again. And what can I tell you? I've been looking for deals online because, you know, we're heading into that Black Friday territory. You would think that they'd be easing these things out. We'd be getting some major savings coming. But I've been scouring for these things because I look for them. I like to do a little Black Friday show about what you can pick up. And the only thing I've seen so far has been on drop. The only real deal, like something that's like an impressive, like, hey, that's a lot of money off. There is 30% off on the HeX4 at just $89. That's a pretty good deal. And then 45% off the HeR7DX, but that's not the special tuning that I had a chance to check out. I don't know. Those are like the only two things I've seen. The HD 5X was at 150, I think. That's all on drop, but drop has usually like a really good couple of deals for the Black Friday, and I haven't seen a thing across the board. Like nothing is like jumping out going, wow, well, you know, that's something worth checking out. I do have a lot of shit for sale down below in the Director's Garage sale, stuff that I'm unloading personally. And if you're interested in any of that, hit me up at directorsgarage@gmail.com, and we'll make a deal and send it out to you. Those are things that I'm selling from that last mega shootout. Wow, that was loud. So yeah, a little audio interrupt. I forgot to turn on the interface. There are two stages to the audio process. That is the Director's Garage. Well, there's actually three stages. The first stage is back here, and it's this old. I can pan over this little level right here. This is a vintage tube reproduction preamplifier called the Universal Audio 610. And it does basic amplification of this old microphone here without phantom power. Don't put phantom power on a ribbon, kids. You'll blow it up. And then I have a basic limiter there so that I don't overmodulate. And then there's a symphony that sort of takes it and converts the analog signal coming off the tube to digital for that. Well, I didn't turn that on. And that does not turn on quickly. It takes some time. You have to have that warmed up and turned up because it's a really long load-in process on that. And that's from Apogee, that box. I've shown that on the show before. And then the third stage is all of that goes into into the switcher, which I have a big audio panel on the screen, which you can't see because it's on the screen. And that's got a switcher, a video side of it, and then an audio side of it and a graphic side of it. So I can do adjustments to the audio levels on the switcher while I'm changing the video picture. But you'll always know there's a lag between when I do audio on this show and when I do video, and that's because they're on separate pages. So I can't have both up. I can't have a mixer up at the same time I have the... And I do have like some hardware controls I could rig in here, but my desk is always a mess. Speaking of my desk, I do have something we will take a look at shortly, and that would be this package right here. This is a package that I purchased a while ago. It's relatively inexpensive, but it's kind of going to be kind of cool to check out. And it's a headphone that I accidentally opened because I thought it was something else. I thought it was getting checks or something, and it turned out to be something that was going to be a blind not a blind unboxing, but just a what's in the box episode for the Director's Garage. And I opened it, I'm like, I'll throw it on the live show, why not? So we'll be taking a look at that package in a little bit, and we'll see what's in there. And I'll show that off. Anything else going on? There's not much going on in the music world. We're kind of at a pause. I'm kind of waiting to see what comes out. We had the Grammy nominations this week. I guess that was a deal. And Beyonce kind of led the way there, and Adele did not get much. I was surprised. I thought that album would do better. Taylor Swift was not eligible, although I don't like this new album, Midnights. It's doing fantastic. But that just shows how out of touch your director is with what the modern kids are listening to these days, and certainly what the Academy felt was relevant in this year of music. I didn't. So, yeah, I thought for sure that Adele album would be higher up, but there's some good stuff in there. Well, I'm not going to do a full review of it here, but you can go to thegrammys.com and they have the whole list out there. But that was one of the things that came out this week. And then I think the induction ceremony for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is more my era. Let's face it, I'm old as dirt. That is going to come out this weekend, I think. I think that hits this weekend on HBO Max. You can check out the induction for Dolly Parton and Depeche Mode. Weren't they nominated? I think. No, Depeche Mode was 2020, I think. I don't know. There were like 3 or 4 worthy. Oh, Eurythmics. And who doesn't love Annie Lennox? I mean, God, that voice. Man, that woman could sing. So yeah, so that'll be cool. That'll be this weekend. I'll see if I can get a chance to check that out. I hope you guys can too. Let me know your thoughts. What are you guys doing? What are you listening to? It's been a quiet week on the headphone front. I've had a lot of work. Obviously, we're getting as many shows out as we can before Thanksgiving week, which is next week in America, and that's only so we have to get 5 shows done by the Wednesday of next week. So we've been pre-producing a lot of material for it. So that's kind of what I've been up to. I've been writing a lot. Had a couple shoots this week. I did a couple of premieres down, like red carpety deals. I don't do a lot of those, but once in a while I pick them up. And so I was out late a couple of nights, and got the bags under the eyes. How you doing, everybody? Hey, let's check in with the chat. Let's see what's going on. We can't hear you, Michael. I know. Maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. When come to think of it, maybe the show is done better when I mime it. Yeah, it's already in his cups. He's already sucking back the booze. That's what's happening. It's the Jazz Hour. Welcome. Carlos Quijada, welcome. Sup, guys? Good evening. Awesome. He misses the candles. Oh, we got candles? Wait a second. I don't know where the remote is for the candles. We got candles. I can get candles for you guys. Hold, please. Here it is. Watch this. The miracle. You're going to see me like it's a magic trick. Whoa, candles. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's great. What new music would I recommend? I am not as in touch with the mainstream, like what's coming out and what's been out. I was like all over this earlier this year, but the last 2 months with the personal life stuff that's been going on here, you guys, it's a backstory. I haven't been following as close, so I haven't had a lot of time to listen to a lot of brand new music this year, and that's unfortunate. I'm usually like right on top of that stuff, and but I haven't had that opportunity. I did, I listened to some of the key albums when they come out, and I was excited for Taylor Swift's Midnights, and then I listened to it, and I'm like, ugh. It's too pop. It's just too pop for me. Like it's got too much of a techno vibe to it, and I'm like, after she did those really personal records a couple of years ago, she did 2 of them back to back, and I thought they were both wonderful and really like very thoughtful and like intimate albums. And then now she's kind of back to more dancey whatever, and I'm like, So I can't say that I've had like an album that like I've gone, wow, that's really something. That's like, you know, track to track, you know, this is a really great package. It's kind of been an off year. Like even Adele's record, which came out late last year, but it'd be eligible for this year's Grammys. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was as powerful as the last one, as 25. I thought 25 was a stronger record. So yeah, it's funny. I don't know that I have like an album that I'm thinking, what would you guys say? I don't think there's something that I've, you know, like there's always, and then there's usually like an off album that really excites me, like something like one year there was a Billy Joe Tolliver record. He kind of did a bluegrass album, and then there was like that Steve Martin album he did with Edie Brickell that was like a bluegrass album. That was, you know, something like that, something quirky and offbeat, you know, that could get me excited. But you know, I'm like, even the re-releases, we did the Beatles on the show, but I'm like, it's a re-release. I mean, I was excited for it, but it wasn't like, I was more excited for my headphones because you can finally listen to the Beatles on headphones, at least their earlier catalog. And that's something that I don't think any of us have been able, I don't know a lot of people that were like, oh yay, I'm going to go listen to Help and hear all the vocals over here and music on the side. You know, that was always a mess. So yeah. I don't know. I'm like, I don't think there's something out there that's just jumping out at me. Let's go back to the chat. What do we got? Nephilim81. Cheers, Nephilim81. Happy hour indeed. He's venturing into Chi-Fi. Bought the Linso Blonde BL3 IEM. You know, I've never checked out the Blondes, and I like their design. They've got kind of like a retro, almost like a 50s design. Like if I was going to do like something that looks like it came off, like almost like made of Bakelite. Like they do really cool stuff as far as like their designs. But I haven't spent any time with any of them, and nobody's ever sent me a pair, and I haven't like been curious enough at whatever price they were at to actually go through with it and pull the trigger on a purchase. I did go through and buy, this is Chi-Fi, what we're going to unbox today, which is right, oh man, where's my switcher go? There we go. Technical problems today. This is a Chi-Fi package. We're going to take a look at that in a few minutes, but that's kind of cool. But yeah, and the other problem is, honestly, it's like there is so much on the, I don't think we as at least as Americans, I don't know, maybe in Europe it's different, but we can't appreciate how integral IEMs are to our culture, to the culture in Asia. Like in Asia, it's like Chi-Fi products, the IEMs that come out of, you're talking about like, you know, Japan and China and Singapore and like all those amazing, you know, great Asian countries that I've been to and that are so wonderful to visit. Well, everybody listens to IEMs over there, like way more than headphones. So you'll see like there's hundreds. Go on Shenzhen Audio or go on Linsol, which is my like sort of Asian partner over there, loose Asian partner, and Lillian Dang, she'll send me some headphones from time to time. I want to give it away on the show, but look at the sheer volume of IEMs that come out over there. It's nothing. Like over here, you know, you'll get maybe 2-3 models out of Campfire Audio a year. Noble will release, you know, this is a banner year for Noble. I think they released 5 new headphones this year. They had those 4, the Jade and the and oh god, I forgot them all already. But the Genghis Khan or whatever it was, Chaka Khan. and they had all of those all of those great, you know, the big 4 releases, and then they had the Viking Ragnar on top of it, and I'm like, that was a big year for Noble. That's 5. that's nothing compared to what, say, Moondrop or, you know, any of these other companies over there put out. Like they just churn. They just churn those things out like crazy, and people buy them because they want the latest thing, or they want a new style, or they want to, you know, it's such a fashion accessory. It's a different mindset over in Japan, and they spend money on those things like crazy. So that's why you see so many of them. And my next Director's Garage episode will be an IEM right here. That's coming soon. That's the next Director's Garage episode. We're going to do a what's in the box that I purchased. So I know what's in the box. It's not like really what's in the box to me. It's what's in the box to you. But that'll be... that's going to be an IEM. We got an IEM coming. So that's going to be the next episode. And then we're going to do a full sound check review. The 109 sound check didn't do so well, folks. I don't know what it is. I got like 500 views on that. I'm like, ugh. That's a lot of effort for 500 views. Kind of funny. And I thought that was kind of more of a fun episode, too. I enjoyed it. But we're going to do a review sound check of this guy, the bad boy, the headphone I've spent probably more time with in the last 3 weeks than any. And that's the Focal Batiste. Or if you're like me from Chicago, Bathies. And these are really cool. I've been using these like crazy. I did finally get a chance to check out the DAC mode on this, which from all accounts, everybody's written me and said, you know, where I've had some criticism of it, oh, you haven't tried out the DAC mode. Try the DAC mode out. You can put it on the DAC mode. The DAC mode blows away all the other modes. And I put on the DAC mode today and I couldn't control the volume. I put it on the Cayin N8 at work. I had a few minutes. I thought, I'm going to finally check out the DAC mode. So I put it on, and I'm like, it's stuck on max volume. So I don't know. Is that a setting somewhere? Probably. But I was looking all over the menus. I couldn't find anything. So I got to try them on a different DAP and see if that will do it. And then if that doesn't, I'll just use them out of a computer. But it was like full blast. I'm like, it was like playing Line Level Out. So... like, no thank you, I'm not that interested. My ears need some help. So yes, Risto said, I thought they were real. Talking about the candles. Yes, well, and that's why I talked about these in past weeks. Those make their way. Those candles have been in a bunch of my shoots, especially recently, because I just got this set of electric candles, and they work. It's like, you know, they look real, but they're totally not, because, you know, TV. It's great. ML Jenkins is enjoying the new White Horse album. See, this is the value of this. See, what I do is when you guys mention albums like this, I copy it and I put it into my little notes, and then I check it out when I'm off the air, because, you know, I don't want to bore you guys with me listening to something here, but yeah, I'll check that out. New White Horse album. And I do check out almost everything you guys have put, like in the chat. Like you said, hey, check this girl out. It's how, you know, see what you think. And I'll almost, I don't think there's one I have not gone and listened to. And I don't always like it, mind you. That's all right. So we all have different tastes, but it's great. I mean, it's great to share what it is you're listening to and what it is that you like. I have not had any time for listening this week. It's like Monday and Tuesday I just jammed or Monday and Sunday I jammed through the episode. I had to get the episode finished for edit, you know, get the last bits in it. And it took me 2 weeks to do that episode, and it wasn't a terribly complicated or a very long episode. My time has been rough this month. It's been a lot of work, a lot of shooting, more shooting than I've done in months. And when I'm on the road and I'm driving all over LA, that's time I'm not spending, you know, editing on the computer here and getting the show out. So that's why we rely on the live show every Wednesday. Welcome everybody. I'm so happy everybody's here. All my friends are present. Yeah, so Adnan Frozy says he liked the blonde more than the Empire Ears Legend X. too much driver flex on the Empire Ear stuff. Yeah, the Odin had a lot of driver flex. That was not pleasant at all. And even then they were really, it was a really bright headphone. I'm like, talk about a headphone that needed some, you know, if I was going to do EQ, that was the headphone that really needed it because it was so bright. It was just piercing bright. Heal those Pokemon. Cheers, heal those Pokemon. You've been here once before, but you haven't been often. Says, do you like the Final Audio NC headphones more than the Bathies? No, I think the Bathies are better. I think that the one that I really want to hear now, but I'm not sure I'm ready to go down this rabbit hole because there's other things that are in front of it, like in my mind, that I want to purchase, and that's provided I get some product moving. Buy stuff, guys. get deals on quality headphone products at the Director's Garage sale. No, but the headphones that I want to put them against, or that I want to hear next, are the Mark Levinsons. Those I'm curious about, and I'm actually interested. I'm like, that's a headphone that I would really like to hear. And I've seen some reviews on them. I did a shallow dive on YouTube into the Mark Levinsons, and they get good reviews. So I'm like, okay, that's something that I think I want to check out. Less interested in, say, the AirHead Max, whatever the hell it is. Their over-ear or on-ear headphone from Apple. And I know people say good things about them, and I'm sure they're lovely, and I'm sure they integrate with my iPhone incredibly well. I'm just not as interested in them. It's like it's a consumer off-the-shelf product and whatever. I'm about as interested in the Apple headphones as I am Bose headphones. It's like there's just too consumer grade and ordinary, and I'm like, I like to find the stuff that's like tucked away in the corner or under the rock. Which is how I got married, guys. No, just kidding. That was bad. Oh, Mrs. Director. She's not home yet. Thank God. Yeah, I like the Bathies, and I'll tease you, they're probably going to get a fairly favorable review. I don't think they're a perfect headphone, but for what they are and what they do, I've been enjoying them. I've been spending a lot of time in them, and they're not as comfortable as like my the closed back Lyrics, which aren't out for once. That's kind of odd. I wonder what I did with them. Probably in a case. But the closed back Lyrics, those, where are they out? No, here they are. They are out. Oh, look at that. They're all wired up and everything. Wow, stuff's falling all over the place. The other way you can tell that I've been really busy is that my desk is a mess. Everything's in a mess, and I haven't even returned the 109s yet. And I'm normally like, the second that show goes out, wow, everything just took a dump. Oh, it was that monitor thing again. Oh, God. I thought I had cleared it. Yeah, the closed-back Lyrics are more comfortable and better sound. I would take these over the Bathies, but Batiste. I think that would be... But, you know, you're also talking almost 3 times as much. So, there's that. God, what is going on? This thing... I went 2 straight weeks with this monitor not diving on me. And it's something to do with the power cord. I'm convinced of it now because it seems to be... If I go back there and I really adjust the power cord and jam it in, it won't shut off. But what happens is it shuts off, and then everything that's on the 2 monitors goes over to 1 monitor, and I've got to do this, and then you're looking at me in profile. And now it's like in a storm. It's like having a storm of, I'm done with you, Michael. I'm shutting off forever. I got to replace this monitor at some point, but it's like, these things are so expensive. It's like $1,200 for the monitor. I'm like, I can send it out and get it fixed, but then I'm without a monitor, and I'm like, I don't like to be, I need my workspace the way I need it in order to keep my life going. So I have to have a replacement here before I do anything. And so that's why, that's that. But Yeah, the Batiste, spending a ton of time with them. Very impressed with the with the noise canceling algorithm, the electronics and the noise canceling. Very impressive on that headphone. One of the best I've heard. I don't know, you know, and it's been a long time since I've had like a pardon me, 2 seconds. We're gonna just reach back here and do something really aggressive to that monitor, because it's doing something really aggressive to me. I've been spending a lot of time with it, and very comfortable. I can wear them for hours at work while I use them. They're very good on the Bluetooth connection. Oh, the other thing that's odd with them is now the Batiste, you can connect 2 different Bluetooth signals to the Batiste at once. See, I got it. Whatever it is, now it's not crapping out again. It's something to do with the power cable. But the Batiste, you can connect 2 Bluetooth things at once. But one of the connections is going to be a lower fidelity than the other connection, which is kind of odd. So what was happening initially, like I was connecting it to the computer and playing music on it, and then I would connect it to the phone, and the phone for some reason was getting the higher quality connection, and then the sound coming off the computer was like meh, which is kind of odd. So only one of the 2 is really like that super high quality Bluetooth connection when you have 2 things connected. One of them is using a different, like there must be like a different transmitter or a different receiver inside of it or something that's not of the same quality as the main one. And so what I had to do was disconnect the phone, and then all of a sudden I got all that fidelity back, and then the phone sounded like meh. But I'm like, that's fine, because I was just keeping it connected to the phone so that I could make a, you know, take a phone call in the event that somebody called me while I was doing work. But it's cool that it can handle 2 different things at once, because I can keep my phone connected to it while I'm on my work computer, which are 2 totally different, you know, one's a PC and then the phone's in the Apple world. And really neat that I could just, you know, work seamlessly like that and still be able to just pause my work by clicking a button, and boom, I'm taking a call. Very interesting product and for that, and I've been using these a ton. The other headphone that I was using at work, the wireless headphone, was the HANC from Noble. But the transmitter inside of that is not that strong. So when I'm sitting down at my desk, I have a standing desk, and when I was sitting down at my desk, everything was fine. But when I go to stand, I was getting too far away from the computer, which is on the floor, and it was starting to fade a little bit. I was getting some weird things happening. So that was less exciting. The Batiste really does have a really good Bluetooth connection, and I was impressed with it. So generally, and like I said, I'm going to do a full dive into the whole thing, and like I think it's 2 episodes away at the moment. That's sort of where I'm planning it. The next one's going to be the mystery box, though, something I picked up, and I want to share with you guys. I always like doing those episodes. I love doing what's in the box. It's my favorite episode to do. The blind what's in the box are my very favorite episode to do, but this won't be blind because I know what I bought. And I don't have the next thing from Audio 46 here yet. We'll see what they send. But there should be something on the way, because I'm going to send the 109s back. So very excited about that. Brand new Brad Meldu album. Says Mike Danello. Cheers, Mike. Mike Danello. Also new Domi. Oh, I've heard about the Domi. Yeah. So I haven't. That's one to check out. Yeah, definitely. I've heard about it. I just haven't heard it yet. Nephilim says, "Cool, Adnan. Really looking forward to trying them. I've heard nothing but good things." Oh, that's the blonde, right? Yeah, the IEMs, and I haven't been in IEMs for a while. You know, I mean, I carry. I carry the Sultans with me everywhere. These are for sale, by the way. One of the ones I'm selling off. My purple. Look at this. Oh man, we'll do it real quick. Purple pinecone Sultan. These things are spectacular looking. Beautiful headphones, but I want to get the Viking, so I got to sell the Sultan to get the Viking. These are just worth, there's just too much money in this. I'm selling it with the stock cable, not with this fancy. This is an Octa cable from Effect Audio. This cable's like $2,000. It's platinum. But yeah, these things, oh, they're so pretty. So pretty. But I just love these, the Noble, and I love the way the Noble sound. They're my favorite IEM I've ever had. But I got to get rid of them because I want to get what's next in here. So it's one of the ones I'm just like, hate to sell it, but you know, I can always buy it again if I'm, you know, if the mood strikes me, or I feel like I'm missing my Noble Audio Sultans that I've lived with for a couple years now. So good. Hristo Hristov. I know I'm butchering that, but I'll try it. Cheers. And he says, as my monitor did another power cycle, I think a headphone you should really want to hear is the Warwick Acoustic Bravura. Yeah, I've seen those. They're very expensive, and unless somebody sends them to me, it's probably not going to happen. I think if I have... if I have that kind of money sitting around... because I think they're like $8 or $9 grand if I remember right when you put them with an amp and everything. If I have the money sitting around for that, it's going to go into an X9000. I want to hear the new Stax more than I want to hear, you know, that brand. So, you know, and all this stuff is just like, it's decisions that I have to make to priority for the show. And I really do want to hear those. The new X9000. I think that Stax it's been on my short list since they came out last year. And I just haven't found a pair for sale that I could afford. And then one did come up, and I thought I was on the fence about it, and they were gone before I could get them. So, you know, if I see them pop up and the price is right, I'll pick them up. But that's definitely like ahead on the list. I also want to hear the Clock Audio Expanse. That's a headphone I want to get in here. The D8000 is on a very short list. I still am looking for a pair of those. You know, so there's a lot of stuff. There are a lot of stuff that, like, yeah, it would be great if I could hear them. However, I just have other things I want to hear, and I want to check out. I also, somebody told me to check out one other electrostatic amp on the Carbon, and they claim that it will give me the bass without ear-piercing volume, which is what I have to do with the Carbon to get the bass to activate, at least on the Blue Hawaii Special Edition, which, you know, I take people's word for it, but I also have a grain of salt to that, because I'm like, I do know that Blue Hawaii Special Edition is one of the most recommended amps for electrostatic headphones, hands down. There are very few recommendations for better electrostatic amps than that amp. So I'm like, really? We need something better than that? Because that's a 10 grand amp. And you know, 10 grand amp. So I kind of question, but we'll see. If I do have a chance to check out another amp, I'll do that too, with the electrostats. But I haven't been into the electrostatics as much lately, and I've been super enjoying my time with the LCD-4. That has been my more go-to headphone than anything right now as far as listening. I really love that headphone. Like, that headphone has grown on me, and I can't recommend that one enough. That's like, and at $2 grand for a used pair, I'm like, right now on the used market, you can get those things for, you know, anywhere from $2,600, and I've seen them as low as $1,800. God, what a great headphone. So yeah, I'm back on that Audeze train. So super huge fan of those headphones. They just wow me every time I put them on, and you can drive them, and it's not a big ordeal to do them. Like, say, the Abyss, which is a big, you know, it's a commitment to pull those out. They're big, they're clunky, they're, you know, it's just a more of a commitment. Whereas it's like, the LCD-4 sits right here, it's ready to go, and here you go, brother. Let's go jam. They're always staring at, they're always talking to me. Headphones talk to you, they talk to me. Report back, Neff, what prompted the move to buy now? Okay, so we'll find out that from Neff in just a minute. Juan Carlos Quijada says he really liked the blonde BL03. He had them for years as budget MU set, as a budget, but they were overthrown by the QKX HBB. I don't even know what that is. So I'm going to take your word for it, Juan Carlos. Surprisingly excellent sound quality, $20 too. Hey, $20 headphone. That's the deal. Hersto says, Michael, do you play any musical instruments? I play some guitar. I play a little piano. Nothing great. I've never been good at instruments. Like, I'm good if I get to practice, and then I can do it over and over again. So I did write some music. I went through a period of time when I was really creative and I was writing a lot of music, but I need to play it a lot, and I'm not a live performer. I can play like a couple of standard songs on acoustic live, but they're all like well-rehearsed songs, and I have like a little mini set that I could do. But I was never really that good. I'm not that good. I mean, I'm just brutally honest. I'm not that good at it. There are other players who could play me up and down, and I never practiced enough. I was taking lessons for a long time. I love the guitar, and I have an expensive guitar here. I have a Les Paul custom 58 reproduction. It's a gold top guitar. It's just a beautiful piece of instrument. And I have a really good hand-built, hand-wound Fender amp called a Vibra King, and the tone on it is beautiful, and I love to put pedals on it and just play around. But honestly, I haven't picked up a guitar with any kind of anger in probably before the pandemic, mostly because of this show. I started this show, and this show takes a lot of time, and I like doing the show. It takes and it's very involved and stuff. So my time to sit around and just futz around has gotten smaller and smaller because I'm always editing a show, getting a show out, doing the live stream, and I have priorities ahead of practicing to play guitar now. Like I don't even have time. Like I want to do a Patreon for this channel, and we've all talked about this in past live streams. Like, how cool would this be if this conversation right here was on Zoom right now, and we were each in a box and we could talk back and forth to each other? Now it might be a little bit of madness because we'll all be talking at once, but like we could show each other, like, hey, check out, this is the new headphone, new amp I got, this is the new blah, blah, blah. And we could just kind of like share stuff. It would be a great back and forth at that point. And we'd get all of us who are Patreon folks into a Zoom room and let it rip. That seems like a really interesting prospect. But to get that together, I have to get a Patreon or a subscriber page, a member page together. And I haven't even been able to do that. I have one started somewhere on the internet, and I'll get to it at some point. But that takes time, and I have to be able to manage it. And this show doesn't even make any money as it is. So, cheers, cheers. So yeah, that would be So I do play guitar. It's just like I'm not great at it, and it's piano too. It was like I was getting to the point where I could kind of get things going on the piano, and stuff was starting to come together, and I just didn't have time to keep practicing. And that's what it takes. All that stuff takes practice. And I picked up the guitar at a young age. I mean, I played a lot when I was a teenager, and I never got great at it. And I was never a fast picker, and part of it was form. I never had great form, and then you got to reteach your form when you get older. Oh, it was a mess. So yeah, but I love the instrument. I love messing around on the instrument. It's fun. I just never have time to do it, and it's a shame because I have this, you know, this amp. I don't know what this amp would go for now, but it's a Vibra King from back when Vibra Kings were brand new from Fender. I bought it, and it cost me a fortune back then, and I assume it's probably worth a fortune now because it's a tube vintage amp from the 90s that was hand built. It's hand wound. All of everything inside of it was done by hand. No, you know, whatever. So really interesting little amplifier. It sounds very, very good. Juan Carlos says the Blonde BL3 they are superior to him in terms of fitment. Fitment is half the battle, though, guys. You know I say that. If I can't wear them for a long period of time, it's hard to get on board with a headphone. Pardon me, burping. Let's add some more iced tea to the fire. Mel Jenkins says the Stax blew his mind. That's why I want to get it. That's why I want to get the X9000 in here. The carbon, and ML says the carbon dug on the Z10E as well. If you're looking, as it was at the Audio Festival. Yeah, I think the carbon is fantastic. Like I said, I just have to turn it up to ear-splitting levels. It's iced tea, folks. We're talking about iced tea. Enough one. But I'm a huge, you know, I am a huge fan of the carbon. I just, it's a commitment. Because you got to play those so loud to get, and like I'll start out and I'll be like, okay, we'll just have it at like, you know, 3/4 volume. By the end of the session, I'm always like turned up to the max, and it's just like, because it's like, oh, it's getting better, and then the tubes start getting like into that perfect zone at about a half an hour on this amp back here. I'm talking about this amp that's buried back here is the Blue Hawaii Special Edition, and the tube, it's a tube electrostatic amplifier, and I found that like at 30 minutes, like this amp has to, like, it'll bake for 30 minutes, and once it gets like past 30 minutes or so, that's when you start getting maximum tone from these things. Like, it takes a long time for this amp to really get into its like performance zone. And at 30 minutes, like, everything's going great. And then I'm like, yeah, turn it up. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm at max volume, and I take them off, my ears are ringing. They're always ringing because I do have a little bit of tinnitus, but yeah, that's bad. But it's a curse, you know, it's the headphone curse, you know? It's like, it's so good, and it's like, oh, I just want a little more bass, you know, turn them up. The more you feed them, oh, I got a question coming from work. Got to answer it real quick. Got to answer this. Very important. Breaking news. Yeah, and I don't have a response. Okay. Sorry, they had a question about a piece that I wrote today, and not much I can share with you about it. It's not that exciting. But they asked me about movie trailer. I'm like, no, I don't have it yet. It's not here, and I can't make it come here. Holly checking in from taking a nap on the couch in the other room. How you doing, buddy? Oh, he's got that I want to go outside look. You want to go outside, bud? All right, the price for going outside, though, is you have to come on camera and say hi to the world. This is Holly, folks. Oh, he's a good boy. Look, I put an air tag on his neck. Fly, be free, homeboy. Go outside, he'll roam the neighborhood for a few hours and then come in cold as hell. Hey, girls for XYZ, checking in, telling me where we can all get dates tonight. Well, you better get that down because that user's going away. Oh, God, what do these people think they're doing? So fun. So, yes, what were we talking about? Yeah, the electrostatics. And I've heard people tell me, I had somebody actually write me and say, you know, actually get the Stax X9000 on the Blue Hawaii Special Edition, because they said that pairing is absolutely killer. And I'm like, great. Well, now I know I've got an amp that's ready to drive the X9000. I just need, you know, the X9000. So there's that. But the X9000, you know, like a new headphone, that's $6,500, I think was the last I saw on that amp, on that headphone. I'm like, so it's got to come up used. I've got to be able to get a used deal on it so that I don't lose my shirt when I go to sell it. So yes, but it's definitely it's on the list. It's on the short list. And then the D8000, which I've promised you guys forever. Like the D8000 is definitely like, that's like one of the first purchases I make when I have some cash to spend at the director's garage, once I get rid of some of these headphones. And the other problem is I've been so busy, and I haven't been able to sell these headphones in earnest because I don't have them up on HeadFi yet. And I don't have them up on HeadFi because I have to photograph them, and I got to take pictures so I can list them. So that's how short of time your director is lately. ML Jenkins put $5 that it was tea. You win the $5, ML Jenkins. Curious if you're interested in any of the ZMF November offerings, or are you off the bandwagon after the Atrium purchase? I'm not personally interested in buying a ZMF right now, other than the closed. If the Verite closed hit for the right money, then I would be probably in. But I honestly think that's a headphone I'll buy used too. I don't know that I would buy a brand new one. $2,600 for the $24.99 for the basic one, and you know, you want something that looks pretty cool, right? I mean, I'm doing a show here. I want to show them off. Yeah, that's, you know, and then the other thing, you know, the shoe we're really waiting to drop, aren't we, is for the Caldera, is it called? The Electrostatic. Are they even out yet? Yeah, they're not even out yet. The Caldera is the one that everybody's like, you know, the planar magnetic from ZMF that's coming. Yeah, we can look. I can show it to you. Hey, let's go live to the internet. Let's do this because we can. Where's the laptop? There it is. Go to the laptop, and survey says Why is ZMF like the most you know, like they always get a warning when I go to their page, like, you're going someplace that's could damage your computer, dude. What are you doing? I don't know. There's something about their website. I don't know if it's like because it's not an HTTPS site. But yeah, let's go take a look. Here's the. So this would be what I'd be looking to buy, which is the ZMF closed something or other. That's a headphone that I want in so that I can do a closed back sort of shootout and see how they compare to the Lyric, which is my current kind of like category leader in closed backs of everything I've heard. And then this is the one that everybody's waiting on. It's the Caldera, which is this is the planar magnetic, I believe, right? Yeah, it's a magnetic structure. So these are going to be planar magnetics. These look spectacular too. I mean, you know, Zach just does. Let's be honest. There's nobody who. this sounds so bad. There's nobody that works a piece of wood better than Zach over at ZMF. But it's true. It's true. Yeah. So. That's I think that's a headphone we're all waiting for, right? We want to see how good does the Caldera hold up against, say, something from Audeze. That's a fair question, right? I think it's a fair question. I think it's a question that we'd all like the answer to as followers of the of ZMF. So we'll see what ZMF has for their November, for their Black Friday sales, because they usually release something. There's usually something, and then there's usually like a December special release where they do a bunch of their crazy colors and stuff. That's usually just before Christmas. And then you buy them and you wait 3 months. I really do wish ZMF would figure out a way to undo that mess. Well, Jensen Nephilim confirms the Stax SRX9000 is amazing. Yeah, not sure about the look of that. Oh wait, Mike, I missed something. I hope you have some ET shoots across the pond so you can pick up the kind of blue Mingus or blue train reel-to-reels. Yeah, there's the kind of blue from, I don't know if you guys saw, did I mention this on last week's show? Kind of Blue came out on reel-to-reel, but it's not available in the States. Thanks a lot. So I think that's probably because Acoustic Sounds might own the license in the States to that right now, as far as a third-party producer of that. I'm not sure, but they're not licensed to release it in the States, so I can't get the Kind of Blue reel-to-reel. That was another one. Ante Dominguez, is it? The guy from Jazz at the Pawn Shop. They just released something. There's another album of his that came out, some new release on Blue Note, I think, and that looks interesting. It's very like mid 70s sort of fusion jazz almost, but it's still pure jazz. I mean, but amazing stuff. But that's I always like that stuff. They just released something on DSD or something. It was an album that came across my Rune feed, and I was like, oh wow, that's great. That's new. But that's not new. It's like old re-released, with a remaster job. So I'm always a fan of that stuff. I love any of that, the vintage releases of the Blue Note stuff that they're remastering or finding in a vault somewhere and re-releasing. It's like, yeah, but it's not new music, but it's new releases, of old stuff. I always like that. Mike also says that the Fender Vibra King is currently $1,900 to $3,500. I've seen it higher than that even at times, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not selling it, but, yeah, it's just been here forever, and it's an absolute classic amp. I think I moved it down. I think I may have finally put it away for a while, because I really am. I just have to pare down to what I'm actually using in this space, because I've got a wall of shelves and stuff and boxes and bins where I put all this headphone stuff in and try and keep everything organized, and it's got all my reel-to-reel tapes on it, and then I've got shelving across the room that's got all my records on it. There's probably 3,500, 4,000, something like that in here, including that new Beatles release came in. I'm such a sucker. Why do I buy all this stuff? I don't know. So yes, but the SRX 9000, definitely, it's on the short list for me. Just don't know when I can find one or buy one. ML says, just beyond what I could expect, the guy left him alone in the booth for an hour. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, when they'll let you just go and roam and try stuff out. Yeah. Oh, so good. Prashant Vyas. Prashant, welcome to the Director's Garage Craziness on the Humpday Happy Hour Hangout, which we are an hour into now. And I will tell all of you new watchers a couple ways you can support the show. You can click on any of the links below that gets you to Audio 46 and use the coupon code Director's Garage, all one word. You get 5% off most of the items they carry, and that kicks back to the show. You can also click on any of the Amazon links below. They'll take you to Amazon. You don't have to buy whatever the product is linking to. But if you just put a bunch of shit in your, do your normal Amazon shopping, it doesn't charge you any extra. It just, Amazon kicks back a little bit to the show because you went there from my link. It's a way you can support the channel. I don't do Patreon yet. We talked about it. It's like, love to get a Patreon thing together, would love to get whatever. I just don't have time to develop these crazy revenue streams. And there are guys who do this full time for a living that do. I'm not, the Zeoses, and I don't have my own headphone store that supports the video side of things. Conflict of interest. But I do, that's just the way you can support the channel, because I just don't have any other way to do it right now. I'm too tired, too old, and too broke to develop stuff. But it's that's what you do. So I just do that spiel once a show to let you guys know there are ways you can support if you guys feel like it, if you're up for it, down for it, whatever. And Audio 46 has been a great partner. They sent me the 109s, which we just reviewed, and I bought the Batiste from Audio 46 out of my own cash just because I wanted to hear them. So how about that? That's what we do around here. I try not to get stuff from manufacturers for free and then feel like I have to give them a good review, because most of the stuff is being lent to me by Audio 46 and I just send them back. And even if I don't like something, I will tell you what I do like in their place, and that gets sold on Audio 46, so there's no harm. They'll make a sale either way. So there you go. So that's my little spiel. I do that once an episode just to, try and get some interest in the show. God, this monitor. And if you keep supporting the channel, I will buy a new monitor so this monitor won't constantly shut off on me every 30 seconds. It's just having a storm, and it usually does it during the live stream. It did at 1 o'clock today, and then it was on for 3 hours, and then it just started again when we went live. Emil says, beyond what he could expect from the guy. Oh, that was great. Random question from Prashant, who we just hosted. Do you ever dabble with speakers or plan to? Yeah, well, I mean, I have like a big system up in the living room. I've got Vandersteen 3A signatures. They're original Vandersteen 3s that I bought back in the day that Richard took back. And he redid the electronics and the drivers on them and sent them back to me as 3A signatures. And then driving those, I have a Krell KSA 100S. It's a 100 amp Krell Class A amplifier that is built like a tank. And it blew on me last year. And then I took it to a place downtown called George Meyer, who deals with high-end stuff. Big repair shop, biggest repair shop in Los Angeles for high-end stuff. And he recapped the entire product, which is great because it was like 25 years old. And the caps just wore out, the capacitors on the inside, which store power for sure. What capacitors do is they level power out. So if there's a huge demand or a spike in demand for power, there are capacitors that hold that charge and release it, and then they build the charge back up in the capacitor for the next time. The amp calls, says, hey, here's a particularly passage we got to really use a lot of power for this, and distribution. Well, those caps are basically very short-term batteries, and they hold a lot of power. You can actually give yourself quite a shock if one's charged up and you happen to touch it. But those capacitors, there's an electrolyte inside that stores the power, and that electrolyte will, over time, eat at the seals on the capacitor, and it will drain out onto the circuit board if it's a full-on meltdown, or the electrolyte will just stop holding charge, like a battery that's just kind of worn out. So you have to get those replaced, and it was a $2,000 replacement for that amplifier, the Krell. And I said, geez, it's a 25-year-old amp. Is it really worth doing the capacitors? I mean, I know it's a great amp and everything. Is it really worth doing? And the guy smacked me across the head. He said, Michael, this is a Krell. You don't get rid of a Krell, dude. You fix the Krell. He goes, all these people, you think that Krell from 20 years ago is any worse than the Krell they just released last year with the fancy glossy faceplate? No, it's just got a fancy glossy faceplate. The wiring, all of that stuff is the same. They don't change hardly anything on these amps. The idea that you're getting something new and like better is just marketing. These old amps outperform or perform as well, if not better, than the new stuff. So don't do, and I do feel the same way, having been around this hobby now for a couple years, buck or two, that old headphones don't get the cred that they deserve. And I try to point that out and find those interesting older headphones and bring them in here over time for us to talk about, because you can get that stuff for a deal. Like I keep hyping the LCD-4, and I'm like, look, you can't get the LCD-4 anymore. Audeze does not make it. They did have one on that B stock sale for $1,500, and I like $1,500. You could have gotten a brand new LCD-4 in their B-stock sale. They had one that came back and they refurbished it and put it out in B-stock. I'm like, that was the steal. You know, that and the LCD-24, which I almost bought, which I was that close to buying. I just didn't pull the trigger. But, yeah, it's... the old headphones, there's a lot to like out there. There's a lot to like out there. Original... I think over time people will revisit the headphones. I think people will revisit is the HE1000 V2, which is so old, it's ridiculously old. They're still selling it new. So is the LCD2, by the way, great headphone, which was listed at one point at $1,200, and you can now pick them up for half that price, brand new, from Audeze. Great headphone. The original HD800, fantastic headphone. Fantastic headphone. You know, these are headphones that need to be revisited and reconsidered, because the stuff that's coming out today is not that much better, if it's better at all. The one headphone that I will say for sure they made a huge improvement on is the Abyss. When you went from the Abyss to the Abyss Phi TC, that jump was massive. That was a massive, massive jump in quality, sound quality. So yes, that's one where I would say definitely massive improvement, worth getting the TC and spending the extra money, because the regular Abyss had problems. There were problems all over it. The bass was great, but that was pretty much all I could say about it. They were slower. They were, just issues with it. Wow, this monitor, guys, I'm sorry. Just technical nonsense today with these going on here at the Director's Garage. If you missed it at the top of the show, I forgot to turn the DAC, digital audio converter, on for the microphone, so I was without mic for the first 30 seconds or so. That was great. That worked out well, and it's still doing it. Oh God, it's driving me nuts. I may have to go with one monitor for the rest of this, so sorry, fellas. I'm going to go about a half hour and more anyway, but still, it's just annoying. So yes, the Caldera, and then let's put the bullet point on the speaker discussion. Yes, I do have speakers. I have a beautiful set of speakers in the living room. The grills need to be redone because I have cats and they've torn through all the grills and they're nylon. They just love to claw them up, and so they either need me to take them apart, or I got to send them back to Vandersteen for a cover job. But they're fantastic sounding speakers, and paired with that Krell, it's a great sound. Nothing but great things to say about that. And there are speakers that I'm interested in, and big amps that I'm interested in. I've even had somebody say I should take that Krell and drive the Susvara with them. I just don't want to damage the Susvara, and I'm afraid that I would, and I don't want to take the chance because I need the money off of the Susvara to fund something else. I can't take a $4,000 hit for trying an experiment with a very powerful amplifier. Kevin says the Caldera releases during the November's EMF sale. Yeah, it says coming soon right now, but I think we just want to you know, I think we're all curious about what it sounds like. Verite closed are the only ZMF closeback. Yes, that's true. Jimmy D says, I'm going to buy some planers for his collection and appreciate my advice recommendations. At the moment, I'm considering the Aria Stealth. Yeah, I think JTB would tell you the Aria Stealth Magnet Edition is genius. It's a great headphone for an open back. It's a great place to start. I'm going to pray that at the front door right now is Amazon and they're just leaving a package. Because if it's something that needs a signature, you're going to get a blank. No, it was just Amazon. Okay. I was hoping that somebody didn't need a signature or I was going to have to leave this. I would say the Aria Stealth Magnet Edition is a great place to start for a collection. It's a great headphone. It's a great all-around headphone. I would also tell you to check out, see if you can find a used Hifiman HE1000 V2. It's a great headphone. And then if you can stretch to 2000-ish, I would say look at a used LCD-4. Just make sure you got an amp to drive this stuff. The Aria Stealth will be driven by anything. The Hifiman HE1000 V2 is a little bit trickier. The LCD-4 requires a serious amp to get the most out of them, to really push them to where they're, you know, something special. So just be aware that it's not always, you know, if you go out and you buy yourself an HD 800, or if you go out and say, hey, I'm just going to start out at the top of the scale, I'm going to get myself a Susvara, you know. Well, the Susvara is still the hardest headphone to drive. I've been searching for a great amp for it for years. I've had many recommendations. Every time I follow somebody's recommendation and bring it in here, it doesn't wow me. So just keep in mind that you got to drive this stuff somehow. Some of these headphones can be a little on the tricky side. The Abyss 1266 TC, very difficult headphone to drive. Nothing but a very, very, very good amp source will work. The best I've heard is the Ferrum Stack. I'm sure there's better out there, but there you go. So just keep that in mind as you're looking at stuff. Find something that's a little on the easier side to drive. And the Aria Stealth is really a good place to go. I would say check out the Aeon Noir 2 from Dan Clark Audio. Excellent, excellent, excellent headphone. Close back. Portable. Looks great. Sounds even better. There you go. I'm just going to finish over here, guys, because I can't keep resetting this monitor, and I've plugged it and unplugged it 7 times today during the show. JTB ZMF also sells Atticus, Icon, and both are closebacks. Are they? I don't know. I don't know enough about their line. I know what I get in here and what I've tried, and I've had the Verite, famously had the Verite open back, and then I've had the Atrium, which is... For the first time, I think I put those away finally and like giving them a breather. They've been out for months after I bought those, and just love them to death. I think they're great. All good. So we've come we've closed the ZMF mystery. What closebacks can you get? Fun fact: Wednesday is Garbage Day over here, so happy Garbage Day. Well, Wednesday is Garbage Day in LA too, at least in my town. So happy Garbage Day back to you. We had garbage today. Hi.
How are you?
We are live on the air to the world. It's the Happy Hour Hangout.
Hi, Happy Hour Hangout.
Mrs. Director in the house, check it in. JTB says Jimmy D, Aria Stealth is a solid choice. Yeah, I agree. And then you can get the Ananda Stealth Magnet for even less, $600. But the Aria Stealth, not going for that much money right now. Those have actually been discounted. I think when I first got the Aria Stealth in here, it was about $1,800, $1,600, something like that. And they're down into the low, just over $1,000. You can get a pair. And if you can find a used pair, you can probably do a lot better than that. Would you rather sell your LCD-4 or the Elite? Christo. I would say I would sell the Elite over the LCD4, and here's why. I can get more money for the Elite, and it will depreciate a lot more than the LCD4 will. The LCD4 is going to probably be fairly floored at $2,000, and that's what I think I paid for them, $2,100, I think. The Stealth, the Elite from Meze, as comfortable as they are and as great as they are, they're going to drop in price, and there will come a point in which those are like $1,500, just like the Empyreans are now, because they'll come out with another version that's faster Renaro driver, and you know the game. Whereas the LCD4 is long in the tooth. It still sounds fantastic. So yeah, I would get rid of that, and I would even say that, you know, as from the shootout, you would know that the LCD4 has more speed. It has better bass. It's got more bass definition. And they were neck and neck for me with the Elite. I could have made a case for the LCD4 to win the shootout. I told you guys that. I just think that the Abyss was you know, so much next level. So there's your answer. I'll give you a solid answer. No dodging, nothing like that. The Atrium close could be interesting. Yeah, they're just taking closed off if they can get it right. You know, problem is you close off. Anytime you take an open back headphone and you close this off, you've got standing wave problems, and so they've got to solve that somehow. You got to build something in there. You got to build the back angle so that when the wave comes back through, it doesn't cancel anything out, or it has a place to go. That's always a problem with that. Where are we at? On the chat. She thought the Atticus had slits around the cups. So you guys are getting into this. I don't want to go through the whole ZMF catalog today. Website, looking at each of their headphones. Have vents that don't release sound. Oh, well, there you go. We are nerds on some level. Ace, Mrs. Director, chiming in, telling us that we're all nerds for hanging out together, talking about headphones. Anybody own the Gustard X26 or R26? What are your thoughts? Nope, don't have it. JTB has the R26. Had it for 2 months now, and he loves it. There you go. JTB sold his Bifrost. That's a shit amp. After hearing the R26, didn't realize the R2R DAC sound is great. Haven't played around with R2R. I just have this. I have the chord stuff.
Okay, this nerd is going to an all Hamilton dance class. Goodbye.
Oh, you are a nerd yourself. That's the answer. Yeah, Mrs. Director is going to dance class where it's all Hamilton. So she had us there setting us up, but then she revealed her true self. Mike Danello says, do you know the max min power requirements for the Abyss Phi 1266 DC? I don't. I just know that I've tried them on... I can tell you stuff that I've tried them on. I had them on the Phonitor X, didn't think that much of it. They sound okay on the... This guy, what is this? This is the... So many boxes around here. The GS-X Mk from HeadAmp. They sound pretty good on that. Sound okay on the tube, on the Woo Audio. Don't sound very good coming out of the Chord Stack Direct. Not so impressive there. But really, it wasn't until I got them on the super, you know, there's a lot of power in that Faramore stack, and that's where they really came into their own. So look up whatever the specs are on the Faramore, and I would say that's the way to go with them. I don't know what they are. Ace of Spades. This is not the science hour. You know, like there are guys, you know, like Kerwong. We talk about Kerwong. Kerwong could tell you like the exact everything of everything. I'm like, not me. Like, does it sound good? Yeah, it sounds good. And we do reviews. Ace of Spades says, do you use it as a steamer as well? Streamer, I'm guessing you're saying. If so, is that functionality pretty good? Oh, that's a question for JTB and his R26. older headphone versus new headphone shootout. I've done that. I've done that on the show. I pull stuff all the time. We did the Empyrean OG against the Elite, and if the Focal Utopia doesn't sell, I'll get the Utopia 2000 in here. We'll do a direct comparison between those two, and we'll talk about what was great and what wasn't. So yeah, I have no problem doing old versus new. I think there's value to it, and I think that it tells you that these old headphones, the older ones, most people will tell you that the old LCD-4, now reborn as the 4Z, which is the easier to drive, consumer friendly, easy to drive version of the LCD-4, is somehow inferior. And I don't know what that is. There are guys who have probably done it, because I haven't done the direct comparison myself, but everybody told me, don't get the 4Z, get the 4. When I was looking at a purchase, to a man, nobody said get the 4Z. Gotta buy the 4Z, and I think the 4Z looks a little nicer, and it's nice to have a lighter headphone. The benefit of the 4Z is that it's lighter. They figured out a way to take away some of the magnet requirements for the driver, and maybe it was that they made a thinner driver or something. But most say that it lost some weight to the sound, like it loses something. So go with the 4, the original 4. Okay, well that's a shootout somebody did at some point, or So there's value to it, and you can tell sometimes that OG is better than the version that comes after it. And I don't know. I mean, JTB can say, because at least he had one for a while. He had the HE1000 SE, and I don't know that I've heard a consensus that the SE is remarkably better than the 1000 V2 from Hifiman. I don't know if there's a consensus on that. So I've seen people who've gone both ways on it. So, and to this day, I think that 1000 V2 is a special headphone. I think that it's one of those we will be talking about, 10, 15 years from now as a great headphone to own. Even if if you've got a bunch of headphones today, it's like that 1000 V2 was special. There was something remarkable about that headphone. And I don't know, I still don't know. I haven't heard anything that's compelling to say that the Susvara is certainly not the multiple better in price that they charge for it over the V2. Okay, last few, and then we'll call it a day for today. ML Jenkins CAF was a lot of fun. If you're in the area, you should be a Philly meet early next year. Oh, that sounds great. I'm not in Philly, though. I'm a West Coaster. Philly's had some good times, though, the last couple. It didn't come out in the World Series, but your football team's killing it. Michael, have you experienced any good aftermarket headbands for any of your headphones? Yes. Well, the Abyss I had to replace, but I bought Abyss because it's Abyss, and that was not cheap. That was like $350 for a piece of leather. Can you believe it? And I haven't messed with it that much. This is the LCD-4, and whoever the previous owner was put this understated Montreal piece of leather with a wider band. I'm going to do it from the top down because I can. And it's all clear. Oh, we got to open that headphone. Dang it. Okay. Sorry. Getting a little crowded here. Oh, wrong camera. Let's go to that. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so this says has got an imprint on it. I did not do this job, but the LCD-4 has some screws on the inside of the yoke, just Phillips screws, and you can take it out and you can put a different headband under here. And this guy, I don't know if it came with the carbon headband initially. I assume it did, but the previous owners didn't like the feel of a narrower headband that sort of followed the trace of the 2 carbon fiber bands on this. And he bought this leather headband from some place called Understated. And it's stamped Montreal, so it's probably Canadian. And he put that on this headphone. And I got to tell you, having the wider headband, as much as it probably detracts from the value of the headphone, it works, and it works well, and I really like it. So yes, that's a case where I've tried a different headband. Other than that, not too much, but that was a case where, yeah, and it probably makes a difference, although I'm really not anxious to try it. I can tell you that the ZMF headband is one of the most comfortable. Obviously, the Meze is the king of all headband makers. There's nothing like the Meze experience as far as comfort. JTB Ace of Spades is not as a streamer. He has 2 audio setups. Recliner connected to the Burson Soloist 3XB. That's another good ad. I had a Burson in here for a while, back before the show even was on the air. I had a Burson for a number of years. Really liked it. Great build. Like another company that really gets it and knows how to make a great product. Burson, which is Mrs. Director's favorite headphone. She has an IEM that was on the show 6 months ago. And it was something sent to me by Linsole, and I can't remember the name of it even anymore because it was so long ago, but they were polka dot pink IEMs that Lillian sent over this way, and she didn't want them back, so I was going to put them in the giveaway, but whoever got it was going to be like the booby prize, because it's like, who wants that? Mrs. Director saw them and went, they're mine. So she's like, I can have a pink polka dot headphone? Hell yes, these are mine. So she took those back and gave me back the Dusk Clinical Edition Moondrops that sound fantastic, like light years better than these Linsoles, but they weren't pink and pretty, so she'll take the pink and pretty over the better sounding gear. There you go. That's Mrs. Director. Ace of Spades says he needs a new DAC streamer for his 2 channel. He was looking at the R26. Bluetooth functionality on R26 is really good. It's good to know. This is information for all of you out there. I sometimes will go with the Bluetooth for gaming and watch TV when he's lazy, doesn't want the other setup, no lag whatsoever. It's a good thing. ML Jenkson says, cool, maybe you'll see me there. Oh, that's talking about Philadelphia. And Nephilim bought the ZMF Crescent headband upgrade for the D8000. He has to say the D8000 headband is very generic. It needs work. Well, if as somebody who's going to have the Z8000 in here soon, yeah, that's it. I haven't bought it yet. I'll be honest with you. Let's take a look at what's in this package real quick before we go off the air. And this was something that I bought because the price was right, and I was very curious. And we have a white box. And I'm gonna pull this over, flip it, undo it, and oh man, it's stuck. This is what we have. We have the Moondrop Stellaris. The Stellaris by Moondrop. This is their new sub $100 entry-level product. And I liked the Moondrop Aria and I liked the Moondrop Starfield so much that when I saw these things come out, I'm like, it's just $100 and I'm probably going to give these things away anyway. I'm just going to buy them because I love the Moondrop products and I think that they make some of the best stuff coming out in Chi-Fi, and they rarely fail to wow me in any way. So let's open this up and take a look at what's in it, what it comes with. It's got this uncomfortable anime stuff with the very young girl with Exposed legs. I don't know, guys. I don't understand. And Moondrop does this on all their headphones. I don't know what their obsession is with anime. I don't get anime. It just seems a little on the dirty side to me. How does this open? This is a sleevey case. Sleevey case. When you just don't know what else to buy. Sleevey case. Ah! Stuck. It's stuck in the case. I'm gonna break it. Oh, there we go. Oh, and here we go. This, by the way, this is the construction on this thing, and it's all in Chinese. Oh, here we go. It's got a diaphragm. I can't tell what this even is. I don't know if this is... It kind of looks planar to me. It is a planar. It's a 14.5 millimeter planar driver. Whoa! I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So we got ourselves... This is the Moondrop planar. Let's take a look. Wah! Oh, look at these. They certainly followed the style of the Starfield. They still have the generic shit-ass case, but it's functional. This is very plastic. Can't know. I'm going to bag on your case, boys, if you don't bring it. But let's pull these out. Oh, yeah. These are just like the Starfield. They're a little less like... The Starfield had more of a shape to them. They were really kind of cool. But check this out. They've got the similar Starfield vibes going. They're painted with the Starfield's blue, metallic blue. Very nice. Very nice looking. And then they've got the Starfield's type of graphics on them, just like the originals did. I don't have the Starfields here. I gave them away to you guys. If you remember, they were in the last giveaway, I think. No, they were in the 9 product giveaway. So yes, interesting. You can see that there's a vent on the outside here, and there's another vent up top. So 2 sets of vents on this thing. They're heavy too. These are heavier than the old Moondrops. So this will be an interesting thing. I'm not gonna, listen to them now on the show because that would be rude. We're live. I don't have anything to keep you guys interested in. I can't pull up my assessments. So let's see what else is in the box though. Okay, so there's this box that was right here, and in that you get some phone tips. This, keep in mind, this is all for under $100. So you're getting, we could do worse. You get a product card, QR code. Got it. Do you got it? Nah, it's gone. Another one of these anime. I'm just not comfortable. I swear to God, the anime thing's a little creepy. I'm sure people get it and they're like, but I don't find anything sexy about it. I think that it's just kind of like, ugh. How to wear. You put them in your ears. So you get like all of this. So that's good. You have a cleanie brush, because usually they come with a cleanie brush. Oh, you got some plastic tips. Look at that. Clear plastic tips. Oh, the cable. Oh, the cable looks pretty shitty. It's under $100, guys. What do you want? Let's take a look. Yeah, it's absolute crap. Not MMCX. These are 2 pins, so you can put pretty much any cable on these you want. It's like a rubbery little yoke Y divider thing, and then this is metal here. This is a metal little splitter. Not terribly interested in that. Usually, it's interesting because Moondrops usually come with on the ear side of these things. Usually there's a screen in there, and they usually give you a pair of tweezers, and then you can pull them out and clean. But it doesn't appear that there's anything like that in this, and I'm going to go deep just to make sure. Maybe it's in here. Nope, case is empty. That's it, kids. That's all that's in it, right? Yeah. So yeah, no cleaning tools, nothing like that for once, and that's the first time I've had a Moondrop product without a cleaning tool. But they look good. They look good. I hope they sound good. We're going to try them out. I'll give them a listen and probably drive them with a couple of things. Probably going to try the WA11 Topaz on them. Where's the Topaz? Back here. This is the Topaz from Woo Audio. You know I'm a big Woo fan. Oh, I got to pull the cable out and then the thing will come out. But this will be great for driving a planer. This is the Woo WA11 Topaz that I bought. Very nice. Very nice piece of gear. Nice rotary knob. Reviewed this, I think, on the show at one point or another. So yeah. Oh, there is a cleaning brush. No, there isn't. That's from another headphone. So that's what's it. That's what's in the Moondrop, the new Stellaris from Moondrop. Under $100. Under $100. And I'm not promoting these at all. I just bought them because I thought they were cool. And I'm gonna listen to them and I'll do a review on the show next time I do some sort of other show about IEMs. I'll probably do a little mini review and let you know how these sound. I just don't want to do it live on the air because, I got to call up tracks and I'm not going to be saying anything. It's going to get a little awkward. I don't want an awkward room. So that is the Moondrop Stellaris. That's what you get in the Moondrop Stellaris case. Very cool. Very cool. And I think these look great. I think they're a little heavy though. A little concerned with their weight. These weigh more than my Nobles, the Sultans, by far. Like, these things are chunky monkeys. That's gonna be a lot. Anyway, very interesting stuff. What'd you guys think? It was pretty cool. Let's go back. We'll finish up the chat and then we'll say goodnight and let you all get on with your week. Thank you for stopping by the Humpday Happy Hour Hangout. 4-H Club here at the Director's Garage. Rodrigo Frides, just saw him. Fearless Barcelona. Fearless Province in pink. Yeah, that's what it is. It was the Province in pink. That's what I had. That Mrs. Director has. That's her favorite pair of headphones. It's like an $80 pair of headphones. And she had a $350 pair of, or whatever they are, Moondrop Aria, or Moondrop Blessing to Dusk, the Clinical Edition, which sounded fantastic. I gave those away. I give away a lot of headphones on the show. Hope y'all are happy. JTB says that Crescent strap is an upgrade over the Pilot Pad. That's on ZMF, I think you're talking about. New ZMFs come with the Crescent strap, which is very comfortable. I like the ZMF comfort, especially on the Atrium. I think that's great. Hit the thumbs up, people. Every little bit helps the show. Stellaris. Oh no, these are so uncomfortable. The nozzle's so big. Is it really? I think with foam, here's the trick, guys. If you have a really large nozzle on these, I haven't tried them, obviously yet, but usually foam is the trick. Go with a foam tip if you've got a large nozzle. JTB is like, that's what she said. JTB, you were not here earlier when we got our XYZ in for the day. The XYZ girls came looking for you again. ML Jenkins says it's the right kind of case. Or boxing, that is. Final Audio makes the best cases for IEMs. I do love the Nobles. I think the Nobles have a great one. I also think, who makes a great one is Campfire. Campfire with their cork case is spectacular. I love that cork case. And it floats. Don't know if you knew that. JTB says he never gets a comfy fit with IEMs. You got to try different tips. It's all about the tips. Stop it. Yeah, it is. It's all about what tips you have. I have a case over here of different tips, and sometimes I have to hunt around and peck and mess around with the different tips until I get something that I'm like, oh, this feels great. This feels well. So there you go. Shawshank chiming in. By the way, cheers, Shawshank. First time on the show. We cheers everybody who stops in for the first time, even if it is in our closing minutes. So cheers to you for making the live stream and showing up. Show up every week. We do this once a week. We do it usually on Wednesday afternoons from 3:30 on. But sometimes it has to slip to Thursday and Friday, and I talk about why. I usually give you the reason why, what I'm shooting, what's happening in my world, and why I can't just drop everything and be here on a Wednesday at 3:30 every week. I don't have that kind of schedule. But yes, your girls is left, JTV. But we try and do this once a week. So stop by. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell anybody who will listen to drop by our little hangout here, because we shoot the shit. We talk about headphones, talk about all sorts of stuff. We had a barbecue night where we just talked about barbecue sauce for 2 hours. It's the best. I loved it. It's a place you can crack open a beer and hang out with some friends, and that's all it is. I don't. It's nothing too like intense and serious like some of the other shows that do this. Like it's got to be talking about graphs. Like no, we don't do that here. We just have a good time. So. Stop by. You're always welcome in. It's an open space, and the nice thing is I think we've had 1 or 2 people who have kind of trolled a little bit, and they were just like blanked out. Like it's like nobody was taking it. So let's see, 6 a.m. there. That would put you in Italy, India. There you go. I'm always almost there. Wow. Man, that's another part of the world. It's a whole other part of the world. And they got some headphones in India, man. I know that's a hugely popular headphone culture in India. I know they take their shit seriously over there, and most people know what they're talking about. So, cheers to India. As we step away and we get ready to sign off for another Director's Garage Happy Hour Hangout. Tip your waiters and waitresses on the way out the door, and make sure you throw your beer cans in those garbage containers. Recyclables, please. We're going to start the goodbye music. Because I can. There it is. Hey, that's our goodbye music. I want to thank you guys for stopping by, and have yourself a great rest of the week. And I hope you get to hear some great music. And I'm going to check out the stuff. I'm going to check out the White Horse album and the Brad Meldew album and the new Domi, which I wanted to check out. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, and I will see you. Oh, next episode is going to be an Audeze box. It's what I bought from Audeze and their B-Stock sale. I teased that a couple weeks ago. We're going to open that box in the next regular episode of the Director's Garage. I'll be back next week in the live stream. So, thanks guys for stopping by. Cheers. Have a good one.